SPY closed at a fresh all-time high, reinforcing the breakout tone. Welcome to your daily market briefing for 2026-05-26. We will walk through leadership, macro context, and what matters next for the next session. Here is the broad market snapshot. S&P 500 was up 0.61% and closed at $7,519.12 US. Nasdaq 100 was up 1.76% and closed at $30,001.32 US. Dow Jones was down 0.23% and closed at $50,461.68 US. Next, the ETF curve set shows where relative strength and weakness developed through the session. Leaders were technology plus 2.66%, RTY plus 1.81%. Laggards were energy minus 2.72%. Consumer staples minus 1.38%. Across global markets, the session leaned constructive globally, with most major regions holding up. Australia was one of the weakest pockets in the map, while Japan and Asia held up better than the rest. Stepping back, SPY closed at a fresh all-time high. Broad risk tone was firm, with SPX at plus 0.61% and NDX at plus 1.76%. Relative strength stayed with XLK, XRUT, while XLE, XLP lagged the board. The stock market Fear and Greed Index is 61, which sits in greed. That suggests investors are leaning risk on and may keep rewarding upside momentum. On the S&P 500 heat map, leaders were semiconductors plus 6.10%, industrials plus 1.49%. Laggards were energy minus 2.72%, consumer staples minus 1.38%. Fed thinking is still central to the tape, and releases like upcoming macro releases are being used to reprice the policy path. Firmer data would make it harder for the market to lean into quick easing hopes. Commodity action was split. Gold led while Brent lagged, so the move looked selective rather than broad-based. The index board leaned higher, with Dow carrying the weakest tone and Nikkei holding up best. Mega-cap curves were mostly negative, which points to a broad tone move more than a single name story. Forex showed a risk-off currency tone with the sharpest move in GBP USD and the best relative strength in USD JPY. Crypto remained under pressure, which helps confirm the broader market risk tone. Bond curves suggest yields were mixed to lower, so rates still mattered for the session. The main focus stayed on SPY, closed at a fresh all-time high near 750.56. Leadership stayed concentrated in semiconductors and industrials. The next question is whether the breakout above the prior record can hold after the first close at new highs. Tomorrow's setup comes down to the next macro events, yield direction, and whether today's leadership can hold. Follow-through on MU stock becomes latest entrant to trillion-dollar market cap club. UBS new price target implies there could be another 100% upside. Also matters because the tape is still sensitive to macro headlines. That is the key takeaway for today's market. SPY closed at a fresh all-time high. Broad risk tone was firm, with SPX at plus 0.61% and NDX at plus 1.76%. Relative strength stayed with XLK, RUT, while XLE, XLP lagged the board. Keep watching policy signals, index leadership, and the next macro catalysts. Subscribe for the next daily market briefing.